The simplest definition of a URL is that it is simply an address to a website. It can be in words like we can see here or in numbers. The syntax for a URL is very simple. First we have the scheme, and then we have a prefix. We have the domain, we have a port, we have a path, and we have a file name. Why it is not compulsory to have all the components here listed out on the URL, there are times where we need to specify a complete path to a particular resources on our website. The scheme basically defines the type of internet services. The most common ones will be HTTP, FTP, we have HTTPS. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with most of them. FTP will allow us to upload files to our server remotely. HTTP is the default protocol for accessing a website. And then we have the prefix. This is basically the domain prefix. In this case, it's www. And next we have the domain, the actual name that you purchase. For example, ictdesignhub.com is the domain name. www is a prefix, while the scheme will be either HTTP or HTTPS. And if we are transferring a file, it will be FTP. Port defines the port number that is being used. The default for HTTP access is 80. This defines a path at the server, which is usually, in many cases, it's going to be a folder where you have some resources that you want people to access. So in that case, it is going to be the domain name, then slash the path name, then slash the file name. Let's quickly see this on the browser. So here, by default, if I start typing the domain name of the website that I want to visit and just hit enter without adding the scheme or the prefix, the browser is going to add it for me automatically in such a way that even if when I don't see it here, if I copy the text and paste here, you're going to see that the scheme is added automatically. Alright, so if I want to specify a path, I have a folder here for another web application. So I could say /auth and then hit enter. This is the domain name. This is the path. If I want to access a specific file, I can then specify the file name. Say profile.php. Then hit enter. You can see the URL which conforms to the syntax that I showed you before. This is the file name, this is the path, this is the domain name, and the HTTP is included here, just that we cannot see it. By default, it will be added for us. But if the site is using HTTPS, then we can see it there. For example, if we go to facebook.com, which uses HTTPS, you can see that the HTTPS is included here. When the URL contains the character that is outside of the defined ASCII character set, it needs to be encoded. And the browser usually will do this for us automatically. In most cases, the non-ASCII character will be replaced by a percentage followed by hexadecimal digits. And also URL cannot contain spaces. The spaces in most cases will be replaced by a plus sign. So it's either you're going to see it replaced with the percentage sign and an hexadecimal digit or a plus sign. Now take a look at this file form.html. You can see here that we have the folder name working, and then we have the percentage, and we have 20, and then we have files. Okay, so this is working files. But if I show you the actual folder, you will see that I have put a space in between the working and the file when I was naming this folder. The same thing here, we have the chapter, then we have the percentage, and we have 20. And then we have 1, we have percentage 20, and then we have the dash, we have percentage, and we have 20, and then we have the HTML folder. Now take a look at the folder. This is the working files. You can see there's a space between working and files. And I open this, you see chapter 1. Before the 1, there's a space. After the 1, there's a space, there's a dash, and there's a space before the HTML. So the browser, instead of throwing an error, we automatically encode this for us using the percentage sign and the hexadecimal number here, which is 20.